What if the reason you're not rich isn't your income, but the way your mind is organized? Most people believe they're thinking clearly. They set goals, they work hard, they save a little, they wait. But here's what no one tells you. The way you think about money, time, and risk was handed to you by your environment, by the people around you, by a system that benefits when you stay exactly where you are. So when was the last time you actually questioned how you think? Billionaires aren't smarter than you. They don't have better ideas than you. What they have is a completely different operating system in their heads. And that operating system runs different questions, different calculations, different defaults. The average person wakes up and asks, how do I make enough to get through this month? The billionaire wakes up and asks, what system can I build that runs whether I'm awake or not? One question keeps you busy. The other makes you free. Why do most people stay poor even when they work harder than anyone they know? Because they've been trained to sell their time. And time is the one thing you could never buy back. Think about it. When you get paid by the hour or even by salary, there is a ceiling, a hard, invisible ceiling. You can work more hours, you can get promoted, but you are always trading time for money. 1 unit of your life for 1 unit of income. Wealthy thinkers don't operate that way. They don't sell hours, they build things that produce value while they sleep. A business, a system, an asset, something that earns when they're not in the room. That's not luck, that's architecture. It's a decision about how you want to use your mind. And here's the uncomfortable question. Are you building something or just staying busy? Because busy and productive are not the same thing. One fills your calendar. The other builds your future. Why does the idea of risk terrify most people but excite the people who have the most? Because most people were raised to see risk as the enemy of security. Don't quit your job, don't invest what you can't afford to lose, don't move until you're sure. But here's what that thinking actually does. It protects you from loss, yes, but it guarantees mediocrity. It locks you into the known, and the known, by definition, is where you already are. Billionaires don't ignore risk. They calculate it, they study it. They ask, what's the worst realistic outcome and can I survive it? If the answer is yes, they move. Not recklessly, deliberately. The person who never risks anything doesn't feel safe. They feel stuck. And they've confused the two feelings for so long they don't know the difference anymore. What would you do right now if failure didn't scare you as much as it does? Hold that answer, because that answer is a map. It tells you exactly where your real life is waiting. What if the way you experience time is the single biggest difference between you and someone 10 times richer? Average thinkers live in a 30-day window, pay the bills, get through the week, reach the weekend. Billionaires think in decades. They make decisions today based on where they want to be in 10 years, in 20. They plant trees they may not sit under because they understand that the game is longer than most people are willing to play. This changes everything. When you think in decades, you don't need immediate results. You're patient with the right things. You're relentless with the right things. You stop reacting and start designing. Jeff Bezos talked about a regret minimization framework. He didn't ask, what will make me happy this year? He asked, when I'm 80 years old, what decision will I regret not making? That question doesn't come from a short timeline. It comes from someone who sees life as a long game. Are you playing a long game or just reacting to whatever's in front of you today? Most people are reacting. Most people don't even realize it. What is comfort actually costing you? Comfort feels like safety, but for most people, comfort is a slow erosion. It's the reason brilliant people stay in jobs they hate for 20 years, why they hold on to ideas they never act on, why they tell themselves one day until there are no more days left to spend. The mind is designed to seek comfort. That's biology. But real wealth in money and freedom and thinking is built outside of comfortable patterns. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're making a transaction. You're trading a future version of yourself for today's ease. The trade feels small in the moment. Over time, it becomes a life you didn't choose. Wealthy thinkers have an unusual relationship with discomfort. They don't enjoy it, but they've trained themselves to recognize it as a signal, not a warning to retreat, but a marker that says this is where growth lives. Think about the most uncomfortable decision you've been avoiding. What happens in 5 years if you keep avoiding it? Why do most people fail at discipline even when they desperately want to change? Because they think discipline is about willpower, about forcing yourself, about grinding through pain with your jaw clenched. That's not discipline. That's exhaustion with a better name. Real discipline is structural. It's environmental. It's the decisions you make before you're in the moment. What you put in your environment, what you remove, who you spend time with, what you consume, what you measure. Billionaires don't rely on motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings come and go. What they rely on are systems that make the right behavior automatic. They engineer their own defaults. Warren Buffett doesn't wake up every morning and decide to be disciplined. The structure of his life produces discipline. He's removed the decisions that drain energy. He focuses only on the decisions that matter. Everything else is noise. What would your life look like if you engineered your environment to produce discipline instead of hoping it would show up on its own? The real question is, and most people never ask it, who do you believe you are? Not who you want to be, not who you're trying to be. Who you currently, deeply, automatically believe you are. Because your actions will always match your identity. Not your goals, not your wishes, your identity. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with money, you will find ways to struggle, even when opportunity appears. If you see yourself as someone who thinks small, you will filter out anything that feels too large. The mind is relentlessly consistent. It will always confirm what you already believe. This is why information alone doesn't change people. You can read every book, watch every video, take every course. But until your identity shifts, until who you are changes, your behavior will drift back to what's familiar. Billionaires don't just think differently. They are different at the level of identity. And that identity was built deliberately over time, through decisions, environments, and the willingness to let go of who they used to be. What version of yourself are you still holding on to that no longer belongs in the future you're trying to build? Here's what no one tells you at the end of a video like this. Understanding these ideas doesn't change anything, not by itself. You can understand leverage and still trade your time. You can understand identity and still live inside the old one. You can understand risk and still choose comfort every single day. Knowledge is not the bottleneck. You've known most of this already in some version, in some form. The bottleneck is something deeper. It's the gap between what you know and what you're actually willing to do about it. Every person who ever changed their life at a fundamental level did one thing first. They stopped negotiating with themselves. They made a decision, not a plan, not a goal, a decision. Irreversible, uncomfortable, final, and then they moved. The only question that matters now is this: if you watch this in a year, will anything in your life have changed? If you liked this video, please subscribe this channel and like this video and share this video. And thank you, everyone.